Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain, to serve with heart and might one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Okay, that's my special way of saying welcome to this interesting edition of Youth Forum, reaching you from the network studios of NTA Port Harcourt, the pace-setting station of the nation. No doubt about that. My name is John Best, and on this episode of Youth Forum, we'll be talking about patriotism. What is patriotism? What does it mean to be patriotic? What does it mean to be a patriot, to be termed a patriot? And of what importance is it to the development of our nation, our great nation, Nigeria? These are more we'll get to learn from this episode of the program, as we'll be joined by a very special guest. Yes, patriotism is simply the love, the passion, the commitment a person has for his or her country. So when you as a young person love your country, you as a young person, you are committed to the things of your country in a positive way, you are termed a patriot. Okay, well, before we go further, let's take this short spoken word video, and it is coming from George the poet, and he titled it The Power of Collaboration.
Coronavirus is a global crisis. We're gonna have to stay home to fight this. Indoors with our phones beside us, literally left to our own devices. Don't you find it strange? A second ago our biggest stress was climate change. Now we face a more immediate threat. It's more lives in danger. It's time we change up. This is not about political mudslinging. It's not about silver spoon versus difficult upbringing. It's bigger than sectors lobbying government. This is about protecting everybody recovering. It's about detecting. It's about discovering, preventing unnecessary suffering. It's about preserving our healthcare systems, which are already struggling. Humankind has made so much progress, and since we all bask in the glory, gotta remember it's a process. I'm part of a story that started before me. I know that human experience is priceless when we're facing such a serious crisis. Collectively, we challenge these forces, manage resources. So I can't pretend to feel no form of unity with everyone else in this global community. We're internationally connected, and this brings us closer, as can be expected. It's why I'm still in touch with my old school teachers. Human beings are social creatures. We have debates, exaggerate and aggravate, exacerbate, but make no mistake, we're best when we collaborate. We'll last longer, no less forever, if we use this time to progress together. The future holds unexposed danger, but no stress. Humankind is no stranger to progress. And as we've proven, when we collaborate, progress follows fast. We dictate what the future holds, because today's present is tomorrow's past.
Thank you very much, George the poet. It's a great message there. The power of collaboration. When we collaborate, when we come together as one, we are bound to be stronger. There is indeed great power in collaboration. And now, what are we talking about collaboration in this sense? We're talking about a strict adherence to the government, state government, federal government's directives, the stay-at-home order of the government, in order to stop the spread of coronavirus disease, COVID-19 pandemic. When we obey the government as citizens of this great nation, we are, in other words, saying we are being what? Patriotic. We can be termed patriot, if you ask me. Okay, at this point, we'll be joined by a public affairs analyst, a leadership coach, and a global citizen. I'm talking about the person of Chukwuma Ephraim Okenwa. Mr. Okenwa, you're welcome, and thanks so very much for joining us on this platform of Youth Forum.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. John, for having me.
All right, Mr. Okenwa, we're talking about patriotism. We're discussing patriotism. So, as a public affairs analyst and a leadership coach, I would like you to start with us by telling us what it means to be termed a patriot and what it means to be patriotic.
Well, I consider a patriot as someone who has that genuine love, likeness for his nation. And of course, that love translates into loyalty and commitment. So the proof of patriotism is loyalty and commitment. Every nation have laws guiding it. And when you say you are patriotic, then of course you live up to the standard, the set standards by the authorities.
I'm sure that our young friends out there would really love to know some notable ways and areas they can exhibit patriotism. Young people can exhibit patriotism. So talk to us on that.
Thank you, Mr. John. Well, when we talk about notable areas and aspects where young persons can exhibit patriotism, well, the very step to true patriotism is to acquaint oneself with the knowledge of the Constitution and the laws of the land. It all starts with knowledge, like it is said. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You can be able to live up to an expectation you are not aware of. Another aspect, when you talk about patriotism, is to consciously patronize Nigeria. Local content, celebrate our local league, just the same way you would do to English Premier League. Buy Nigeria, project Nigeria, celebrate Nigeria. The same way when young persons go to great tourist destinations like Dubai, Bangkok, and they snap and promote the places. One of the ways you can exhibit patriotism is when you visit some of those tourist sites in your locality, project it, post it on different platforms. If you don't really know where you are coming from, you don't know where you are going to. And of course, patriotism also entails that, you are respectful. Patriotism also entails that you are respectful to the constituted authorities. Follow the rules of the land as set by the constituted authorities. You cannot say you love Nigeria and you are a citizen and you are not ready to abide by those good instructions from the leaders, of the country. Just like we earlier said that loyalty confirms that you are patriotic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okenwa. I don't know how this is going to sound to you, but as someone who has visited different countries, as someone who belongs to various international organizations and bodies, how would you rate the show of patriotism by Nigerians, especially that coming from the youth's angle?
Well, in rating the extent or the rate of patriotism as exhibited by the young people in the country, I would first want to identify that lack of compelling role models, those to actually show the way and to show the passion for the nation, those that we esteem national interest above personal interest. We lack much of some of those role models. But beyond that, as young persons, when you compare us with our counterparts in other nations, you will actually see that right from onset, they have actually been able to understand from the very foundation that there is no place like home. And indeed, there is no place like home. But unfortunately, like most Nigerians, young persons, begin to think of any available option to leave the country. And it's not like that. Because like for us as citizens of Nigeria that can be able to like visit 45 countries without visa, what about nations that have the privilege like Japan and Singapore that can visit 190 and 189 countries respectively without a visa, just with their passport? You know, but you see people, they still want to be associated with their home countries, you know. So we must have to understand that there is no place like home, that even when you travel, it is actually our responsibilities as young people to build our nation.
This is getting more interesting, but just before we continue, I think we'll be going on a quick a break, and when we return, the discussion with Mr. Okenwa will definitely continue, and I'm sure you will really love to hear more from him. So let's take this break while we get to hear the opinions of our friends about patriotism.
I just think patriotism is about the love you show for any place you find yourself. Basically, the layman's could understand to be you love you show for your country and your culture, your religion, and so. But I think everyone that's a patriotic person is a person that works for the nation or whatever he or she loves.
Being a good Nigerian, doing things you ought to do, obeying instructions from the government. I think when you do that, you're a patriotic Nigerian.
Patriotism is the art of being loyal to one country or nation. Maybe it's the situation. Maybe you are being proud of your country wherever you find yourself. You are not shy to show identity, to represent your nation wherever you find.
It takes a patriotic riversman to obey the lockdown and the sit at home. It's not actually easy, but there's nothing we can do. But because we're very patriotic, we don't want this virus to spray more than the number that we have. The government has given us measures to obey, and previous people are perfectly doing well.
If you say you're a patriotic person, you need to adhere to the rules given to you by your government. Like the government say in part of the country that we should sit at home. There's a door-to-door curfew where a whole lot of persons should avoid gatherings of course. So I think everyone that's a patriotic person has the right to obey the instruction of the government and try as much as they can to combat this particular virus. And if you adhere to the rules of the government, you definitely everything you do will definitely work out for you. And like I always say, patriotism is all about you obeying and loving your country. So anyone that loves his country will definitely adhere to the rules of the government. As a patriotic Nigerian, firstly, I want to say I love Nigeria with all my heart as a patriotic Nigerian. But all the same, our government could do better. They could do better, and the love could increase. A whole lot of persons in this part of the world still think Nigeria is not a good place to be. A whole lot of persons is looking for opportunity to leave this country. But I still think there's no place like home. Nigerian forever. Nigeria I love.
I pledge to be a law-abiding citizen and a good representative of Nigeria wherever I find myself, and to obey all the government orders.
I pledge to my society, to my country, to my local government, to my community, to my village, to my state, that I'm going to stand out.
All right, glad to know you're still there. If you're just joining us, this is Youth Forum, and it is coming to you from the network studios of NTA Port Harcourt, the pace-setting station of the nation. We've been discussing patriotism with Mr. Okenwa, and Mr. Okenwa is a leadership coach, a public affairs analyst. So let's move on. Let's look at the areas or the place of patriotism in the development of a country.
Yeah, Mr. John, on the role of patriotism in national development, the role is quite enormous. And of course, just imagine the moment we begin to value that which we have, the local content, there is every possibility that we can develop that, we can enhance that to compete with our counterparts in the globe. Of course, when you do not value what you have, other persons could exploit you. And I think that first, patriotism will help us to value local content, seek for local alternatives, and young persons must be at the forefront of driving this project, talking about having homegrown food for virtually things we have potentials of growing. Young persons have the strength. When you talk about textile, clothing and textile, young persons can disrupt that space, technology. So, but it starts with the moment we begin to think of local alternatives to all of the things we invest our money in investing. Don't forget, Nigeria is losing lots of money in tourism because, of course, some persons feel there is nothing to be seen when you visit the country. But I'll tell you from personal research, every state in Nigeria has at least 7 notable sites that have great potentials for tourism that can actually attract people in their masses. And when they come lodge in our hotels, use our transport system, land within the country, the airport, all of this translates to greater wealth through tourism. What about promoting our local league, which could also dovetail to sports tourism? Just like the same way people can travel for English Premier League. Celebrating our own, don't forget the English Premier League. It's much as a local league like the Nigeria Football Professional League. So in essence, it is when you say I am here, then people can actually know that you are there. And just like Awolowo puts it, nobody will say you are until you say I am. So you need to appreciate your place as a citizen, celebrate your own, and then people will be wondering what's so spectacular about it, what's so special. And of course they want to discover, they want to buy, they want to patronize. Because when we talk about opportunities, apart from the opportunities that exist by creating local alternatives within Nigeria market, we could also advance further to conquer other markets and some other weaker markets across the globe, that depend more on consumption than production. So we can do something about that. Patriotism is wonderful. And of course, just imagine when young Nigerians begin to see themselves as ambassadors of this nation, even when they travel out of the country. You will not want to do anything that we bring the name of Nigeria to the soil, to the soil. You're always very conscious that one particular thing you do, can actually create a narrative for over 200 million people. So when you are conscious of that, then of course you want to do something that will not indict people who didn't do anything to you just because you go with the green passport. It's very important to note that.
This is quite insightful. If you ask me, I'm sure you're getting this whole thing, because I'm really understanding and I'm seeing the importance of patriotism. A whole lot, needs to be done. If you, as a young person, you're not yet being patriotic, if you're not yet being termed a patriot, then you need to work towards that. You understand? You need to work towards that. Yes. Okay, just before I let you go, Mr. Okenwa, could you just give us your final words? Yeah.
Well, my final words to young Nigerians that are out there: believe in Nigeria. And especially for those of you out there that it's wondering, does our oneness as a nation really worth the essence? I can tell you it does. Even husband and wife do quarrel. They have differences. But our ability to sit down on the table, to negotiate, our basis, of oneness, and of course, find out better ways we can live with ourselves, begin to think of greater nation, have big dreams for Nigeria, then of course, we are sure to get it right. And one thing I want you to understand, as a fellow young person, is that we have the responsibility to design and to develop the kind of Nigeria we would want. Every nation we so desire today were built by men and women who believed in their nation. Sometimes they may not be within the political space. It all means that in that space where you are, whether in the business space, in the social space, in the public opinion space, you will ensure that you do it well. And always ask yourself, like, it's a personal assessment. I do take once in a while. If everybody in Nigeria were to be like me, what kind of nation would Nigeria be?
Wow, wow, wow. I really enjoyed this discussion with you. Once again, thank you very much. And we really do hope to have you join us again. Yeah, whenever we call on you on this platform of Youth Forum.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that discussion. And we're talking about patriotism. You know, in this period of COVID-19, some patriotic health workers, they have really done so much. The media practitioners, they've done so much. The security officers, they've done so much. You know, if you're not patriotic, you can never, I mean, you can never do as much as these people are doing. Some persons have given their lives. They've lost their lives in the course of this whole thing because they are patriotic. They want to save their nation. They want to save lives. You see the thing. All right, moving ahead, we want to take this music video, and it is coming from Timi Dakolo, titled Great Nation.
Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided and poised. We will take a stand and build our land in faith to defend what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom reigns and truth prevails, our land where there's hope for us all. Our land where there's hope for us all. We'll defend our land. We believe in this nation, and we know we'll get there. We'll defend our land. We believe in Nigeria and the promise she holds, and that one day we'll shine like the sun. We're a great nation.
Just a quick reminder on the preventive measures of COVID-19. Remember to wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. That we do too. Yeah. Ensure and maintain the good social distancing. The government has said maintain social distancing. The NCDC, the WHO maintain social distancing. Try to keep to that. Use your face mask when necessary. Use your face mask when you're talking to people. Well, that's what I mean by necessary. Yeah. Use your face mask. You're walking on the street, you're in a cab. Use your face mask. Okay? You want to cough. Cough into your bent elbow. You want to sneeze. Sneeze into your bent elbow, or use tissue paper, disposable. So once you're done sneezing into it, or coughing into it, fold it, and then you dump it. Remember, Testing positive of COVID-19 is not a death sentence. People who have been tested positive, we've seen them recover. Testing again, negative. Yeah, so it is possible. It's not a death sentence. So avoid stigmatization. Do not promote stigmatization of people with symptoms of COVID-19. So they could actually go out there and get tested, in order to stop the spread of this. Notice anyone with symptoms of COVID-19 which happen to be difficulty in breathing, serious cough, sneezing, all that. Do not fail to put a call through to NCDC, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Their toll-free number is 0800-9700-0010. I call the number again, 0800-9700-0010. Yeah. Do not forget, this has been Youth Forum, and it is reaching you from the network studios of NTA Port Harcourt. In case you want to sponsor the program, you want to participate in the program, you want to place adverts on the program, feel free to do that. Contact the producer via the number scrolling right on the screen. You could also come to NTA Marketing Office to get every needed information about Youth Forum. Facebook.com/NTAPH. You reach us, drop your comments, like our page, follow us up, suggest topics you want us to discuss on the platform of Youth Forum, as long as it concerns the youth without leaving the older ones behind. We are in for you. We've got you covered. Personally, you could reach me via my social media handles, www.facebook.com/officialjohnbest, Instagram @officialjohnbest, Twitter @johnbestminds. Well, it is on this note we say bye on this platform of Youth Forum. Do enjoy the rest of the week, and do remember to keep safe. Stay home, keep safe. Bye.
In the past 2 weeks, the number of cases of COVID-19 outside China has increased 13-fold, and the number of affected countries has tripled.
Transmission worse than Ebola. Never say had I known. It's always sad. Inti uru sana fasamina ye. Then I want to fire yeah. Yeah. Be cautious when you go out there. Uru sana fasamina ye. Then I want to fire the money be. Never think you are immune. Be cautious when you go out there.